How are you? How's everyone doing? Let's get to the news about what's happening around the world. There's an alert for several states in the United States and also for Mexico. Let's dive into the details because these events will be intense. Pay attention, the snow is going to cause floods and tornadoes as well as heavy rains and very cold temperatures. This is for the United States. Listen, an extreme cold front, it is already in fact breaking records in several regions of the United States. So let's get into the details. A moment ago we did a quick summary, so it was urgent, but this time we'll go into a bit more detail. The weather system is expected to bring sharp drops in temperatures, flight cancellations, and power outages, as well as unusual accumulation of water and snow in different regions. Let's go into the details of what is known. The phenomenon is unusual. They say this phenomenon's intensity is what stands out. If we look at it in terms of temperatures, we can already see the situation unfolding right now. The cold, especially in this area of the central part of the United States, is striking. At the same time, there is heat in the southern United States and in northern Mexico. Well, in Mexico, throughout almost all of Mexico except for Baja California, which has slightly milder temperatures. In general, cold temperatures are being experienced in the central part of the United States, and they will get worse in the coming days and hours. The unusual phenomenon is hitting the United States, with experts saying that extreme weather and huge geographic contrasts are causing historic snowfalls. By the way, there will be torrential rains and, well, the probability is that in this corridor from here to this area, tornadoes will be reported throughout this whole region. There will be tornadoes. It's important to remember that every year in this area, there are about 400 tornadoes, give or take a few. That's the region of the planet with the most recorded tornadoes. Registrado, ¿verdad? There are a lot of plains, and this causes, well, so much. The climate, besides the contrast between the heat from the Gulf and the cold from the north, causes this phenomenon to develop very intensely. More than 25 states would be under direct impact from the large cold front that entered forcefully starting on May 5th. This would be generating a combination of heavy snow and severe storms. They say that it is completely unusual to see such a large amount of snow at this time of year. For example, Wyoming and Colorado are going to receive about 30 centimeters of snow. That's just new snow to take into account, considering today and the next few days we're seeing how. So these regions would be expanding by a significant amount for this whole area, which is precisely the area I'm talking about in Colorado. But also for New Mexico, where some regions will have snowfall of up to 60 centimeters. Although here, at least for me, it shows about 20 or 23 centimeters of new snow approximately. They claim it will be more. A bigger snowfall, let's say, not just in terms of water accumulation. Be careful with that issue, water accumulation. The storms will move toward the south, yes, and toward the eastern United States. And in that case, all of Mexico is affected by this phenomenon because cyclogenesis is developing here in Mexico. We'll talk about what that means in a moment, right? Meanwhile, in Denver, historic weather events are being recorded. The city of Denver experienced its biggest snowfall in almost 20 years in these last few hours. The weather corridor stretches from Texas to Maine, covering practically the country's entire central swath with cold thunderstorms in some regions. Well, obviously, as we already saw with snow, let's load the map so you can see how the cloud cover from these phenomena has behaved in the last 24 hours. Once it loads, we'll take a look at it, right? That's how it is, right there. A front, let's say, of bad weather, so to speak, moving from the center of the United States toward the east of the United States. It's not all bad news, since this brings plenty of water to areas like Alabama and Georgia in the southeastern United States. That's good news for water conditions. We have to remember that this area has been experiencing drought, so now the temperature will be, let's say, cooler than it has been lately. But besides that, with humidity, with rain and all that, that's going to be important, and it's also positive news in that sense. The NOE and the National Weather Service have raised severe storm alerts, especially for Alabama and Mississippi, where there is a risk of large hail and also tornadoes in the area. The warning was raised from level 0, let's say, to level 3 out of 5, which means a real potential for supercells capable of affecting infrastructure, even destroying infrastructure and causing fast developing emergencies. Arkansas, on the other hand, could see flash flooding in the area over the next 24 hours, overwhelming drainage systems and increasing the risk of evacuations. Air transportation is already affected, with 200 flights cancelled or delayed at key airports such as Chicago O'Hare, Denver International, and other airports that have been adding flight cancellations. Check interstate highways before leaving. I-25 is already under a weather alert because there could be ice, there could be snow in some areas, and visibility could decrease. The agricultural sector in the United States is also on alert since the sudden cold could damage crops in a critical stage of growth in the Midwest and the Great Plains. So that's bad news for farmers in that part of the world. The rains are also helping to relieve the extreme drought in Georgia, Alabama, and the northeastern and southeastern United States. Temperatures would have dropped between 11 and 17 degrees below normal. A drop that they say has been brutal for the month of May, a month that normally already feels more like spring or summer, right? I mean, this time it has been quite strong, quite unusual. By the way, there's also the wind issue. It's going to be quite intense for some regions, especially for the eastern part of the United States and some regions in northwest Texas, which could experience strong winds in the coming hours. Also for northwest Mexico and the central part of the United States, which could experience some of the strongest winds in America. Right, today in America, the extreme weather is moving toward this region between the United States and Mexico, basically. No, I mean, they're going to get strong winds, they're going to get intense weather, and well, the warning is that this isn't over. This is going to last for several days. It's not like it's already passed. No, this is going to be affecting the United States for several days in this case. And well, stay alert, friends who are on the road, who are listening to us and are driving, whether it's a car, a truck, or whatever. You can't hear them much? Friends, both men and women who are drivers or who travel a lot for work or for different reasons. Well, a big hello to all of you, and well, make sure to check where you're going to be and what the weather will be like in the next few hours in the coming days. Why? Well, because there are these alerts as well. Let's see what's happening in Mexico. Let's get into those details, shall we? Cyclogenesis is underway. This is a meteorological phenomenon that has been specifically warned about in Mexico. Let's go into detail about what cyclogenesis is and how it's going to affect the weather. Well, here in these parts, let's say that's also the case. Well, that's how it is. Just keep that in mind. That's all. Just keep it in mind. By the way, a big greeting to the community that's watching us live and to those who are watching us. Thank you so much for joining us in these quick live streams because they're not very long, not compared to the ones at night, which are much longer, right? And here we're going to practice something we've understood this time. According to the reports, one is happening. Well, this cyclogenesis, according to the reports, is something that meteorological services have been warning about. In different areas, look at the progress of the cyclogenesis. Warnings have been issued for various regions. It has already happened in the United States. It has already happened in Mexico, for example, and in Argentina as well. Right now, there is also a cyclogenesis report for Argentina that's happening too. Well, just keep in mind that it's an initial cyclogenesis. It's not something to worry about yet, but we should keep an eye on it. When you see an intensification of low pressure in the atmosphere that causes a sudden drop in pressure, and that will obviously generate bad weather, as it's sometimes called. Well, that's a process that is currently being reported in some parts of the Americas. We should remember that back in January there was a cyclogenesis in Europe, one that at that time they called explosive cyclogenesis. That's what they called that phenomenon, which was I think they called it a storm system if I'm not mistaken, and the one that's happening right now would be taking place in Argentina. That's the phenomenon that will be observed in the next few hours. No, that's a yellow alert they have there for storms, and this is going to escalate to orange storm alerts. No, we're going to see this right now in Mexico, and we see it in Argentina. We're seeing it right now in Mexico. How is it going to be? thunderstorms that are going to be happening in this area. No, let's go to the thunderstorm map and let's see where there are more risks and especially on which days, at what times, etc. No, that too, so keep it in mind. If you are watching us, look, at this moment you can already see the phenomenon is quite widespread in Argentina and also, well, right in the capital towards Buenos Aires. Here is Buenos Aires on this side. Mar del Plata is on this side, but this whole area right now is what the map is showing me. There are significant chances of thunderstorms there, and they will continue for the next few hours from what I can see, and they are heading towards Uruguay, then towards Paraguay, right? By tomorrow. Look, Paraguay, and Brazil too. So it's Argentina today and part of tomorrow, and then starting tomorrow, Uruguay, northern Argentina, and Paraguay. The south of Brazil will have significant thunderstorms. That's in that region of the world, and here in Mexico. Well, let's take a look at it right now because we'll also be tracking these systems, by the way, as they move from the southeastern United States toward Mexico, bringing intense weather. There we see it heading toward Louisiana, not toward Mississippi, all these states, and at one point they say it could be in Coahuila, Nuevo Leon, even a little further south. Reports of thunderstorms, that's something to keep in mind as well, even for Mexico City. You know, it could also be that we get some thunderstorms between now and tomorrow. Between now and tomorrow, thunderstorms could occur tomorrow, May 7th. So, well, keep an eye on that. Look at Friday, May 8th, how it's going to be really intense. A lot of thunderstorms in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. In Mexico, well, practically from Texas, I mean Coahuila, let's say, the border with Texas all the way to practically the border with Guatemala. Honestly, I mean, it's interesting the line of thunderstorms that we're going to experience in the coming days. Please stay alert to that. And let's move on to other matters. Come on, let's go. Yes, I think it's not later. It's gonna be a different year, right? I don't know. It's been weird for us, honestly. I've already said it several times here. It's been really interesting. The weirdest year I've had in the last 10 or 15 years. I mean, where the weather behaves really strangely, right? I mean, cold, cool, you know? I mean, eh, that's how it's been, right? But when the heat comes, it hits hard. Not extreme, but still tough, right? Mr. X, how have you been? Greetings, Jade. To everyone in the live stream community. Well, I'm signing off now, sending you all a huge hello. Here in Uruguay, they said there's a red alert for the storm on Friday. You can tell, right? It looks like it's going to be intense. But I see it here at least starting tomorrow, right? I mean, starting tomorrow, Thursday, but at night, right? Late evening or even around noon. No, look, no, even earlier. For me, it shows as early as 11 in the morning. Look, this is at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, I mean 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, look, 3 in the morning, and it shows me these temperatures, in fact, tonight, it already shows me this in Uruguay. Today, Wednesday at 10 at night, it shows me these thunderstorms over there in, what's it called? In Uruguay, right? A big hello, Mr. X. Hope you're all doing well. Have an excellent day. See you later. Goodbye.